Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. As Rabbi Ulitsky mentioned earlier, and Sherwood alluded to as well, this is a special Shabbat for us here at Bethel. It reminds me a little bit of that old joke, the one that says that the British leave without saying goodbye, and the Jews say goodbye and don't leave. Feels like that a little bit this morning, because today we have the difficult task, really, of beginning to say goodbye to Cantor Abrams. Today she takes leave as full-time Cantor, but she's really not going anywhere because she'll continue to be our Cantor for the coming year in a part-time capacity, serving, for example, at many life cycles. She'll be with us for most of the upcoming B'nai Mitzvah in the year. So in a way, it's as if she won't have left us. And indeed, this Zoom service is not a proper way to truly say goodbye and to honor her as we would like to. And so we'll reserve that formal honor until, God willing, a year from now. And in fact, we already have a committee working on planning a wonderful event early next summer that will include appropriate tributes, God willing, together, as well as an amazing celebration and concert with Cantor Ozzie Schwartz from the Park Avenue Synagogue. So today marks really just a moment of transition, but we did want to mark it. We wanted to make sure that we recognized this change for Cantor Abrams and for us as a synagogue community. And so we're gathered together this morning to offer a number of words of reflection and tribute. I'd like to begin by calling forth Cantor Abrams' mentor and teacher and our Cantor Emeritus, Cantor Neil Newman.
So Shabbat Shalom L'chulam. I want to start by first wishing Rabbi Abelson a Yom Huledet Sameach and Ad Mea V'Yasrim. I pray that he will have continued good health and lots of nachat from his children and grandchildren, and also look forward to many more weekly phone calls with the two of us. So again, Mazal Tov and Yom Huledet Sameach. What can I say about Cantor Abrams? Our relationship goes back so many years. When she first arrived in Minnesota to do an externship in music therapy as a senior at Michigan State University. She immediately became our lead soprano in the Bethel choir, followed by the United Synagogue Regional USY director. Then she and David moved back to Connecticut, but then she was engaged as our high holiday chazan. And when they returned, she became our program director at Bethel Synagogue, and later its associate cantor, and finally, of course, my successor at the Bethels, and my great pleasure. I and our congregation soon discovered Cantor Abrams' extraordinary talent, or should I say, talents. Aside from a beautiful lyric soprano voice that exudes warmth and compassion, she has theater and dance also in her blood. She's so very hardworking, managing an unlimited number of classes and activities and juggling all of them at the same time. Then Cantor Abrams also possesses so many redeeming human qualities, including her ability to immediately connect and empathize with people by being an excellent listener, and even at times demonstrating an ability to laugh at our own imperfections. Serena and I, in particular, very much appreciate that unusual trait. Audrey, you have often given me too much credit for what you yourself were able to learn during our studies together. You should take full credit for being the exceptional student you were and are. I think that the pleasure and benefits were at least shared by both of us. You epitomized the dictum from Pirkei Avot of Ben Zoma, who said, Ezehu Chacham Halomed Mikol Adam, who is wise? The one who learns from every other person. And if truth be told, I think you also know how much I was able to learn from you over the years. In some ways, knowing of your infatuation with Chazanut and the many Beth-El members whose lives you have touched in positive ways, I'm saddened by your retirement, even though I realize that you'll be continuing to work part-time next year. Toda la'el. I know that Beth-El Synagogue will miss your comforting voice and your person on the bima each and every week. You will surely be missed and very hard to replace. I've enjoyed and appreciated our warm collegial relationship over these last 38 years, which has even intensified over time. And you and I both realize that our professional relationship is also personal, very personal. Sarah and I wish you, David, Rachel, and Sally love and the very best of health and fulfillment in the years ahead.
Rabbi, thank you for those beautiful remarks. When we looked out at the congregation and asked for a few volunteers to come forward to help us begin to think through how do we mark the transition of Cantor Abrams as our full-time cantor and create an opportunity to celebrate, many hands immediately went up. This morning, I'd like to simply call upon two who are chairing our synagogue's celebration of Cantor Abrams, Barbara Krupp and Andrea Mueller, to share a blessing.
Dear Cantor Abrams, Audrey, we will miss your joyous spirit, your heavenly voice, and your warm, sweet presence in our congregation. Naomi Levy has written a lovely prayer for retirement that Andrea and I want to share with you this morning. Thank you for your insight, your guidance, your companionship, your integrity, and for all the sacrifices you have made.
May God bless the path you take.
May God bless your future labors with success.
May your newly found freedom bring you great pleasure and deep satisfaction.
May God bless your body with health and your soul with joy.
May your work here continue to flourish in your absence.
May you continue to spread your kindness and wisdom upon us for many years to come.
May God watch over you and shield you from harm. May your prayers be answered. Amen. Cantor Abrams, Audrey, you have blessed us in countless ways. You will always and forever live in our hearts. We love you.
Amen, amen. To help us through this transition, we've also established a committee who will begin to think through how do we not fill Cantor Abrams' shoes, but how do we fill the position of cantor at Beth-El Synagogue. And so we have a small task force that has begun that work along with a number of people who are working diligently to help us think through how do we make that role sustainable financially here at Bethel, and you'll be hearing more about both of those in the coming months. At this time, I'd like to invite Bethel's president, Steve Sanderson, to share a few remarks.
So thank you, Rabbi Davis. In the news this week, there are a lot of different things, but there was one nice light-hearted item, and that is Major League Baseball is coming back. And you can see Audrey is absolutely delighted. And I think we could all wave. Yes, I'm terribly, terribly excited as well. And many will say that baseball is a metaphor for life. And people have heard that before. The game, what's going on in the first inning changes to the third inning, to the sixth inning, a whole long season. And a very good friend of mine and somebody whom you know very, very well, Audrey, he and I had an interesting conversation this week that many years ago, you and David started to go to Twins games, and you were a spectator at the time. But over the years, two remarkable things occurred. One was that you developed a deep and genuinely intimate understanding of the game. You know what the designator hitter does, what an infield fly rule is, all the different things that are associated, the quirky things, the nuanced things with baseball. And certainly those things can be, if we had more time, into things that we all experience in life. Audrey, I have to tell you that in baseball, there's something called a five-tooled player. It's somebody with speed, power, hitting, fielding, and arm strength. And certainly what you've done with your life, your cantorial life, is very much akin. Your speed, you're always there for everyone. It doesn't matter what time, day or night, you're always there. Your power, it's seen and it's unseen. And I can't tell everyone how many things I've observed, certainly over the last couple of years. All of us have been touched by that unspoken power that, Audrey, you possess. In hitting, in baseball, if a baseball player hits the ball 1 out of 3 times, it's a 300 hitter, they're considered pretty darn good. Well, I think we would all agree, Audrey, you are a 999 times out of 1,000 hitter and darn nearly 1,000 hitter. You are absolutely amazing. Fielding, you know what? You know how to deal with the unexpected. Maybe this little spiel that I'm giving right now. You know how to field it. You know how to deal with things, whether it's on the bema, off the bema. Really, 365 days of the year, you're there. And then there's this thing called arm strength. And for me, what resonates there is you empower others. You show them the way, the derech of how to behave as a Jewish person, how to behave as a human being of substance. Now, it's one thing to have the 5 tools. It's another thing to transition into becoming a Hall of Famer. And so, Audrey, I'd like to designate that, Audrey Abrams, you are an all-star cantor. Absolutely. Characteristics of Hall of Famers are, they make it look so darn easy. And Audrey, I don't know how you do it. Day after day, week after week, you make it just look so darn easy. You're aware of the entire field. You know what's going on everywhere. What's going on, how it's going on. You're supportive of teammates. You're supportive of fans. How about us as the congregants? And you're respectful of, and you're professional. Opponents is probably too strong a term. But certainly when things aren't going quite right, you're always 100% of the time respectful. I think most importantly to me, though, there is a genuineness and with heart that you respect the game. You respect yourself, you respect family, you respect Judaism. And you also convey a means of telling to everyone that every person has their own unique way of participating and deriving meaning in Judaism and throughout life. Audrey, in this transition, I can, in some degree, sympathize and empathize, but you haven't defined it by chronology, but you have that inherent skill, that wisdom and sensitivity, that there are other and perhaps things that haven't been discovered, things that you're going to contribute to life that adds meaning to our game, to Bethel, to Judaism, and by the same virtue, add essence of your own human existence. Audrey, on behalf of Penny, Emily, Ben, Sam, family, congregation, love you very, very much. and delighted you ain't going nowhere too fast. Toda rabah.
Go to vote, Steve. Tada rabah. At this time, Cantor Abrams, the floor is yours.
They told me I got 5 minutes. Okay.
Just mentioned to
First,
Steve.
first of all of you, thank you for those beautiful words. Steve, I'm not sure who you were talking about, but that's okay. And I don't know what an infield flag rule is. I don't get it, but I'll learn this year now that they're coming back. After a long year of talking about it, I am officially retiring just a few days. It's hard to believe, having served in some capacity in this congregation for about 30 years, with the last 13 as your cantor. Yes, I will be staying on in a limited capacity to help with the transition year, and my role, while highly visible, will once again be shifting. As I think about this change, I'm reminded of the Lifesaver commercial where a father and his young boy are sitting together watching the sunset. The moment the sun disappears, the little boy says, "Do it again, Daddy." Split second, and poof, everything changes. This is happening in our lives constantly. Every moment we are not the same as the moment before. Everything is shifting and rearranging, constantly changing, and most of the time, we don't notice. For our big moments, we notice. We have rituals to celebrate these moments. As Jews, those rituals are so much part of our lives: baby namings, b'nai mitzvah, weddings, funerals. And just this past week, I had the privilege of witnessing 4 conversions. The ritual of mikvah feels to me like that sunset. 3 dunks and poof, everything changes. But what about day-to-day moments for which we have no specified rituals? What about a child earning his, her, their driver's license, being hired for a new job, buying a first car, feeling a depression lift, moving an elder relative into an assisted living community? Within each of these, there is a poof moment. It's these very moments that we too often rush through without noticing or recognizing. Oh, it's just life. We're glad to be done with it. Time to move on. And yet, if we do not stop to take the time to honor these moments, the happy and the sad ones, to mark them with intention, their momentousness loses something. So this retirement thing, no Jewish ritual. And confession, I have this vision of going to bed June 30th and waking up July 1 totally different. Somehow, as the clock strikes midnight, poof, there will be many more thank yous over the course of the year. To my family, my clergy partners, the board, all of you, the entire congregation. But today I want to thank you for helping me to mark this moment of momentousness with me. This moment as I transition from a known to an unknown place. I'm a bit verklempt, and the gift of your presence and your love and all your faces and signs in the Hollywood square boxes help me to intentionally recognize the reality of this moment in my life and in our life as a community. And while I won't ask you to close your eyes, as part of this time, I'd like to sing a chant from Isaiah, if I can, that speaks to me about transitioning from one place to another. Isaiah says, Ivru, Ivru b'sha'arim, hanu derech ha'am. Go through the gates and clear the way of the people. When I sing this chant, I envision walking through a gate, not knowing what's on the other side, but trusting that walking through is what I need to be doing. If this chant resonates with you, take it as a gift to mark your own transitions as you walk through gates for which there are no rituals. Ivru, Ivru, Basharim, Panu Derech Ha'am. Ivru, Ivru, Basharim, Panu Derech Ha'am. Ivru, Ivru, Basharim, Panu Derech Ha'am. Ivru, Ivru, Basharim, Panu Derech Ha'am.
Yasher Koach, Yasher Koach. So even though we can't sing Ivru, Ivru the same way that Cantor Abrams beautifully just chanted for us, Alexander, what do you think? Since today's Audrey's last official day as full-time cantor, what song can we mark for this occasion? I don't know. What do you think?
What song should we sing? To be honest, Avi, I gotta say that I'm not sure that Audrey would consider us singing much of a tribute.
Oh, come on, come on. She would love to hear our beautiful voices, and I think I know just the perfect song. How about May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. You know, Audrey's been such a blessing to us. We pray that God continues to bless her and her family with all safety and love and grace and compassion.
Yeah, I like the message. Not so sure about the song.
Oh, come on. Okay. What about Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash? Sing a new song. We get to sing all of the songs now that Audrey doesn't like.
Well, not quite sure that that's the right tone, but I do have one. How about Shema b'ni musar avicha ve'ati tosh torati mecha. Understand, do not forget the musar that she's taught, because she's been our teacher and our spiritual guide.
Okay, not bad. A little slow. Maybe we could go back to her USY days. Lo alecha hamlecha ligmor. You know, you don't have to finish the work because really, Cantor Abrams isn't done. She's going to be cantoring all next year.
Okay, so that could work, but how about this one? What if we just sang the last trope that ends the book of the Torah? Sof Sefer.
Oh, good. And you could do chazak, v'nir chazek, so we could wish her strength for all of the future endeavors.
That's possible. Wait a minute. I think I've got the perfect song.
Okay, which one?
You know, the one that we sing often at the end of services.
Okay, yeah.
You know, the one that it says, it's good to sing because she taught us and encouraged us to lift our voices.
Okay.
You know, the one that says, thank you because she's done so much for our community and she deserves our gratitude.
Go on.
Okay, so the one that says, don't just say thank you, sing thank you.
New.
The one that calls out to people to lift their signs and dance because you know that Audrey loves a good Zoom dance party.
I know what you're talking about.
Tov lehodo l'Adonai, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shem ha'elyon. Tov lehodo l'Adonai, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shem ha'elyon. Nai l'hagi b'boker l'estecha, gemarata b'alecho, l'hagi Hagi Baboker, Baboker, Chastecha, V'Emunecha B'Leilam. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na
Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov.
So, kol hakavod. Thank you everyone for having about this moment.
We love you, Audrey.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I love you guys too. Thank you. Love you all.
So, Rabbi Yelitsky, why don't